feet hip width apart. The knees are bent, and we're gonna start just loosening up every joint from the top all the way down to the feet, okay? So we're gonna start with the head. We're gonna look down towards the floor and looking up towards the ceiling. This is just a warm up, so just do it very nice and gently. Look towards your right, look towards your left, look straight ahead. Try to touch the ear towards the shoulder without lifting the shoulder. And the other side. And then we're going to do it again. Look down towards the floor, looking up towards the ceiling. Look straight ahead, look towards your left and towards your right. Look straight ahead, try to touch the ear towards the shoulder and the other side. And then drop the chin towards the left shoulder and try to look towards the left shoulder, and then drop the chin and just make a semicircle until you're getting into the right shoulder. And then roll the shoulders back, bring the chin towards the chest, and from the right shoulder you're coming all the way down into the left. And then we're going to do it slower. So still looking towards your left shoulder, drop the chin. When you get to a point, so you really want to let go of the head and roll the shoulders back. When you get to a point where you feel in pain, stop there and try to sort of give it a little bit of a stretch by rolling the shoulders back and dropping the head. And then you're continuing until you get to another spot. I've got plenty because I've got quite tight shoulders at the moment. And then roll the shoulders back when you've reached the left shoulder, and come back onto the right shoulder, doing the same thing. So when you get to a point where you're feeling the pain, try not to tense up, because when we get the pain, we tend to do this to sort of shorten the muscles, so you're avoiding the pain. But try to allow a little bit of a stretch, and then very gently you're coming back into the right shoulder, okay? And then start bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and then drop them back. Bring them up towards the ears and drop them back. One more. Bring them up and back, and then the other way around. So bring them over, around. So from the back you bring them up towards the ears and forward. And then lift the left arm. You're bringing it up in front of you, and then you're rolling it back. So you're starting to create small circles with your left arm, but you're increasing the circle wider and wider until you're getting to the end of your range of movement, okay? Don't force it, and if you've got pain, just stay away from the pain for the time being, because we're just doing a warm-up. And then we're gonna do the other direction. So from the back, you're bringing it forward. And now you're gonna do it with your right arm. So the right arm comes forward and back, forward and back. Be very conscious when you're doing this. So try not to be sort of thinking about something else. Reverse the circle. Okay, and then lift the left arm, support it with your right arm on the upper arm. So you're basically supporting the arm from the upper arm, and then you're bringing it across the body, dropping the shoulder. And then drop the arm, and then you're trying to bring your left arm behind your back, trying to reach up as much as you can. Once you've got to the point where you can reach, this is your maximum, squeeze the shoulder blade towards the spine. So you're doing this movement here. And then drop the arm to the side. Now we're going to do the left arm, the right arm. So you're lifting the right arm up with your left hand, you're supporting it by the upper arm, and you're bringing that arm across the body, dropping the shoulder back. And then drop that right arm, and you're bringing it behind the back Once you've reached to the point where you cannot go up anymore, squeeze the shoulder blade towards the spine. So you're trying to open that shoulder out, okay? And then drop the arm, and we're gonna focus on the hips. So actually first, soft knees, feet hip width apart, start swinging the arms towards the sides of the body so that the arms sort of hit the sides of the body. Keep your knees soft so they're not locked. Okay, and then hands on the hips, start making circles with your hips. So you're starting to make a circle clockwise, and you want to start making the circle wider and wider. Keep your knees soft. So you're not locking your knees when you're doing the circles, and then just stop and reverse the circle. So you're doing it anti-clockwise, which I don't know what it looks like on the video. Okay, and then bend forward, place your hands on the inside of the knees, start rubbing the knees on the inside, the front, the sides of the knees, and the back of the knees. And then place your hands on top of the knees and start making circles with the knees. First one direction, and then the other. And then come back up, hands on the hips. You're stretching the left toes. And then as you're stretching the left toes, you're coming on the tip of your toes, and then you're stretching the top of the tips. And then come back on the tiptoes and start making circles with the ankle. So make sure that the movement comes from the ankle. The whole leg is gonna move, but you want to isolate the movement on the ankle, okay? First, you're gonna make circles in one direction, and then just change the direction. And then we're gonna do it with the right foot. So you're stretching the right toes. Come on the tip of the toes and then roll onto the top, feeling that stretch on the top of the foot. And then come back on your tiptoes and start making circles with the ankle. Okay, so we've done all the joints more or less, apart from, well, the arms. We're coming to the top of the mat, okay? So while you're doing the mountain pose and you concentrate on the breathing, I'm gonna read you the disclaimer. So come to the top of the mat, big toes are touching, spread the toes as much as you can onto the mat, and then just stay here for a second and notice where you put the weight of your body onto the feet. So I tend to go onto the front, where basically this is my posture, okay? So I always have to bring it back. And then sort of bring the body weight into the middle of the feet. So you're not leaning too much onto the toes, neither on the heels. Once you're in the middle, start pulling the kneecaps up. So you're engaging the front of the thighs. Now we're gonna start working on the bandhas or on the locks. So to engage the lower bandha, which is the pelvic floor, as you're standing, you need to tilt the pelvis under. So you're trying to shorten the distance between the pelvis and the rib cage, okay? So you're doing this. Suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under, arms by your sides with the fingers pointing down towards the floor. You're looking just straight ahead, and just familiarize yourself with these three locks of the pelvis, the lower abdomen and the chest that keeps you upright. And this is quite a good way of standing up, okay? So if you're doing quite a lot of work standing, you want to assume this position as much as you can. Place your right hand in front of your chest, left hand underneath your belly button, and then as you're standing here, you're gonna start working on the breath. So you're breathing through the nose only, and you're lengthening the breath, so it's the same length on the inhale as it is on the exhale. As you're breathing in through the nose, you're trying to puff off the left hand, which is on the lower abdomen, And as you're breathing out, you're trying to bring the belly towards the spine. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So carry on with a couple of breaths while I read to you the disclaimer. So when you're participating in any class or exercise program, you may incur the possibility of injury. By participating voluntarily into this class, you assume all responsibility of injury to yourself. I'm going to add to this that you need to be careful. Make sure that you've got plenty of space in the space that you've chosen, and just don't overstretch. Okay? So every time you do a pose, bring yourself to 70% of your range of movement, so that there's a little bit more to go where you basically can sort of involve the fascia. And then bring your hands in front of your chest. Close your eyes. Set an intention for today's class. And then we're going to start with 3 sun salutations. We start very basic. And if this is the first time that you're doing a yoga class, just stay into the basic level. Try not to be tempted to go straight away into the more advanced level. Otherwise, if you've done this class for a while, there are other 2 you can do at your own pace. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, look up at the hands, suck the belly in. On the exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands on the shin, the ankle, or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat. Step the right leg out into a lunge, left leg to meet it into a high plank. We're setting the plank, we're bringing the shoulders above the wrist, we're pushing the heels away from us, tilting the pelvis under, squeezing the glutes, pulling the kneecaps up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. On the exhale, knees to the floor, leading with the chest, looking forward, chest forward. You're rubbing your elbows by your side, bringing the chest down to the floor. Top of the feet on the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. On the next inhale, peel the chest off the floor, roll the shoulders away from you, elbows are bent, you're looking forward. Exhale, tuck your toes under, come into your hands and knees. Bring the seat towards your heels and you're coming up into a downward dog. You're stepping your feet forward, so you're trying to bring your heels down towards the floor. On the next inhale, you're bending the right knee, transferring the weight onto the left leg. On the exhale, you're bending the left knee, transferring the weight onto the right leg. You're looking down towards your feet, so your neck is nice and long. Nice and long movements with the breath. So on the inhale into the count of 5, you're bending one knee. On the exhale of the count of 5, you're bending the other knee. And then on the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you've reached the hands, keep your feet together. Exhale, you're folding forward, letting go of the head. On the next inhale, you're looking up, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Second one, inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, exhale, hands on the mat, at a step or jump into a high plank. Inhale, set the plank, and either knees to the floor or hovering down, halfway down the mat. On the next inhale, push the body through the hands, straighten the arms, up dog, roll the shoulders away from you. Exhale, tuck your toes under, downward dog. Setting your feet hip-width apart so that you can bring the heels down towards the floor, legs as straight as you can, looking down towards your feet. If you're finding this difficult that your heels are quite high up, bend the knees, push the bum up, keep the bum where it is as you're straightening the legs as much as you can. So as long as you're feeling the stretch on the back of the legs, you're doing okay. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands. If you want, you can jump to the top of the mat by coming on your tiptoes, bending the knees, looking where you want to land. And then on the next inhale, squeezing the thighs together, you're landing in between the hands with the legs as straight as you can. Exhale, you're folding forward, letting go of the head. Inhale, come up a little bit, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Last one. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward. If you want to jump into a plank, you're planting the hands on the mat, bringing the weight on top of the wrists, and then jumping into a plank. And then from here, you can do either low plank or knees to the floor. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Now, pay attention to the upper part of the torso, hands as wide as the shoulders, roll the shoulders away from you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then push your hands away from the body so that you're trying to bring the torso towards the thighs. Tilt your pelvis under slightly so you're not overarching your lower back. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're looking forward at a step or jump to the top of the mat. And exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Okay, so we're going to work on the shoulders today. The first part of the class is a normal yoga class where we're going to try to stay in the poses for at least 5 breaths. And then we're going to slow it down where we're going to do some exercises on the floor specific for the shoulders where we're really targeting the fascia, trying to get that little bit of more of a stretch by affecting the fascia and staying in the position a little bit longer, okay? So start with the block on the inside in between the feet. So you're stepping in between the feet with the block in the middle, and then hands on the hips. You're stepping with the right foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat. The heel is on the floor, the right leg is straight. On the next inhale, you're bending the front leg and you're placing your left hand on the block or directly into the mat, okay? And then on the next inhale, you're turning the torso towards your right and you bring your right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. Now the important thing is that you're not putting all your weight onto the block, so you should still be able to lift the hand up and still stay on the position, okay? Because you still want to create a tension into the core muscles that keep the whole posture in place. And then on the inhale, you're lengthening that torso, and on the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your right. Inhale into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. Now let's isolate the shoulder, and then you're turning that right shoulder back, squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine. And then on the next inhale, you're looking down towards the floor. Exhale, you're bringing your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're stepping to the front of the mat. Be careful of the block. Okay, we're gonna go on the other side. Hands on the hips, you're stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. On the next inhale, bend the front leg. You're placing your right hand on the inside of the right foot, either on the mat or on the block. The left hand is on the hip, and then on the next inhale, turn the torso towards your left. Bring your left hand up towards the ceiling. Now, palms are facing away from you, and you're rolling that left shoulder back. So you should feel also a tension. As you're turning, rolling the shoulder back, you should feel a tension on the lower part of the scapula, almost as if you're trying to reach that scapula into the spine. And then you're looking either straight ahead or towards your left hand, wherever is more comfortable for your neck. Inhale into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we start with the feet hip width apart. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, you interlace the fingers behind your back. On the next inhale, roll the shoulder back. So you want to squeeze the shoulder blades together and keeping them squeezed throughout the rest of this pose. Open the chest, suck the belly in, and on the exhale, bend the knees, rest the torso on the thighs, let go of the head, and bring your arms away from the back, but you're still keeping the shoulder blades squeezed, so you're protecting the shoulder joint. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. While you're in position and you're feeling confident, you can also straighten the legs if you want to. The main thing is that we're trying to isolate the shoulders and the movement in the shoulder, so it doesn't really matter if you're resting the torso on the thighs or not. If you've got any problems with your lower back, I want you to just rest the torso on the thighs, otherwise you can get that extra stretch on the back of the legs. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're coming all the way up. Place your hands on the hips and you're stepping now to the front of the mat, keeping your feet hip width apart. We're gonna go into warrior 1, okay? So hands on the hips, the feet should stay at hip width apart, okay? So when you're stepping back with your right foot, you still want to have the right foot further out than the left. And you're turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat. I've just realized, well, anyway. So let me do it this way. So basically I'm doing it like you. Okay, now on the next inhale, your right heel is on the floor and the leg is straight. Your left foot is starting to bend and you're pulling the left hip back. And then on the next inhale, you're sitting in between the legs. So don't lean forward and you're bringing your arms up towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So there's a lot of elements in this pose, but we're isolating the shoulders, okay? So start from the shoulders, rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping your arms as straight as you can so that you're really feeling it in between the shoulder blades and into the front of the shoulders. And then now very gently just focus onto the rest of the pose. So you're sucking the belly in and gently start looking up towards the ceiling, seeing if you want to get a little bit of a back bend. Making sure you're still bending the right knee. Looking down, you still want to see the big toes. The left knee, sorry. And then on the next inhale, you're looking forward, hands on the hips, and you're stepping the right leg forward into the top of the mat, giving yourself a little bit of a shake. We're gonna do it stepping with the left leg, okay? So feet hip width apart, right, left. You're stepping with the right foot, the left foot, 2/3 of the mat. So the right leg is forward and you're pulling your left hip, right hip back, so you're squaring the hips in front of you. The left foot is on the floor and the left leg is straight. Now you're bending the right leg and you're starting to suck the belly in, sitting in between the legs. On the next inhale, start bringing your arms up towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Once you start feeling the movement and the stretch onto the shoulder and the space in between the shoulder blades, then you can start looking up towards the ceiling, making sure you're keeping your arms as straight as you can. And then start getting that little back bend by pulling the belly button towards the spine and just arching backwards slightly, but making sure that your abdominals are engaged. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, you're looking forward, place your hands on the hips, and you're stepping the left foot forward to the top of the mat. Giving yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're gonna do a balancing pose, and then we're gonna do something which is called the dolphin pose, okay? But that's on the floor. So we're gonna do the eagle pose. So we start with the arms because we want to basically get the movement on the shoulders, okay? Then you can decide if you want to do the legs or not. You're balancing your weight onto the right leg, tiptoes of the left, okay? And then you're bringing your arms forward and you're placing your left arm on top of the right. So you're crossing the arms above the elbows, so you can sort of twist them around so that you can bring the hands together. Now, if you cannot do that, just place the left elbow on top of the right, grab hold of the shoulders and bring the elbows up, okay? And now, if you want to also add the legs, you're lifting your left leg off the floor, bending the right leg, and you're bringing the left knee on top of the right, hooking that foot behind the leg, bringing the elbows up so that the elbows are in line with the shoulders. Now, if you're finding this difficult, just undo the legs and just bring the left foot on the tiptoes on the inside of the right, okay? Because all we want to do is sort of feeling it in the shoulders. And if you're in the eagle pose, you can also lean forward if you want to. And then when you're done, start bringing the arms forward. First undo the legs and then undo the arms. Give yourself a little bit of a shake everywhere. And then bring the weight onto the left leg, tiptoes of the right, left leg, tiptoes of the right. Okay, so we're here. We're setting the legs, squeeze the left glute, and imagine that left leg sinking in mud, okay? Now bring your arms forward. This time you're bringing your right arm over the left, above the elbows. And then see if you can twist it around so that you can grab hold of the hands. Otherwise, right elbow on top of the left, grabbing hold of the opposite shoulder, bringing the elbows up. Now, as you're bringing the elbows up, you're working on the muscles underneath the scapula, okay? If you want to add the element of the legs, you start bending the left leg, lifting the right leg off the floor, placing the right knee on top of the left, and then hooking them behind your calf. And then if you want, you can sort of bend forward. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. As long as you're feeling the stretch on the shoulders, you're doing fine. And then very gently, just come back up. First undo the legs and then undo the arms. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. And we're coming into our hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to do the dolphin pose. So we're bringing the hands, the forearms onto the floor. The palms are on the mat. The elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, okay? Now you're on the tiptoes of your feet. And what you're going to do, you're going to basically now tuck your toes under and push the hips up towards the ceiling. And then if you're already feeling that stretch onto the shoulders, just stay here looking down towards the mat. Otherwise, to get an increased stretch, you're pushing the head through the elbows, looking down towards your feet. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, bring your knees down onto the floor. Come up, giving yourself a little bit of a shake. Sit on top of your feet and coming into child pose with your arms forward and the forehead onto the floor. Now you're looking forward. Start sliding the hands forward so that you're starting to bring your arms forward and the bum up towards the ceiling. You want to start looking forward so that the chin is on the mat, or at least you're looking forward and you're feeling the stretch into the front of your shoulders and in the space between the shoulder blades. The more your bum is up, the more stretch you're getting. So if you want to go slow, just bring your bum halfway up, otherwise come all the way up. One more breath here, inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then very gently start sitting your bum back onto your feet, coming all the way up. And then just turn your body towards your left, bringing your left arm behind you. And your right arm over the left knee. And then come back to the center, turning towards your right arm behind you, left arm over the right knee, turning towards the side, just to give ourselves a little bit of a twist in a different direction. Okay, we're gonna do the dolphin pose again, okay? So first look at me before you do anything, because I want you to show you what to do. So the palms are on the floor, pressing down onto the mat. Your elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, you're tucking your toes under, you're looking down onto the floor and you're pushing your bum up. Now, if you want, you can walk your feet, press the head in between the elbows, and then see if you can come up a little bit and down. You can also bring one leg up, and then bring the other leg up. Okay? See if you want to do any of this variation. Otherwise, we do the simpler version of just bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms pressing down onto the floor. You're coming onto your tiptoes, pushing the bum up towards the ceiling, and then looking down towards the mat if you want to, or pressing the head in between the elbows. Then see if you want to do any of the variations, so walking your feet towards your bum so that your back is as perpendicular to the floor as possible. So you can bring one leg up and then the other. And then when you're ready, start bringing the knees down onto the floor, coming into child pose. This time the arms are along the body so that the top of the hand is on the mat, the arms are alongside the body, and you're resting the forehead onto the floor, sitting on your heels. Okay, and then very gently just come up, and we're going to lie down onto the floor, okay? I'm going to show you the exercise that we're going to do as we're standing, okay? So imagine that I'm lying down, but we're doing this, I'm doing this demonstrating a standing, okay? So you've got your arms to the sides like this. You need to make sure that at all times your body is pressing onto the mat, okay? So that the whole of the body is rubbing against the mat as you're doing this position. And what we're gonna do, first we're gonna do it with both arms. So we're gonna just bring the arms up and then back down. Very gentle movement, okay? So you're sliding the arms up, making sure that they're rubbing against the mat all the way, okay? And then we're gonna do it with one leg. So that one leg is up onto the mat and you're bringing the same arm up as you're twisting onto the side, okay? And then we're gonna bring it back down. So we're gonna do this again onto the mat. So we're starting with lying down onto the floor. Bring your arms onto the floor so you're bending the elbows and the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. So the elbows are in line with the shoulders. And then now you're just sliding the arms up towards the ceiling, so just above you, making sure the arms are always in contact with the floor. And then you're sliding them back down. And then you're bringing them back up. So now tilt your pelvis under so that your whole of your back is touching the floor. Sliding slowly the arms up towards the ceiling and sliding them back down. Okay, now once you finish the movement, you're lifting the left foot up so that you're resting the left foot onto the floor. And now you're keeping the right arm where it is. The left arm is starting to slide up as you're turning the left knee out to the side. And then you're coming back up. And then you're sliding in them back down, back up, bringing the knee towards the left side, the right side, sorry, and bringing them back up. Last one. And now swap the legs. So now you're straightening the left leg and you're bending the right. And now you're still sliding the left arm up. So slide the left arm and bring your right leg over onto the left, looking towards the arm that is not moving. And then bring it back down towards the center. Very nice and gentle movement. So everything that you're doing, you're almost trying to sort of stretch the fascia. The movements are nice and long. Last one. Okay, now we're gonna do the other side, okay? So you're keeping the left arm stable and now you're moving the right arm. The right leg is still up, and as you're sliding the right arm up, you're bringing the right leg over across the body. Still looking up towards the ceiling at this point. Slide everything back down, sliding it back up. And then now swap the legs over, so you're straightening the right leg, you're bending the left leg, so the left foot is on the floor, still sliding that right arm up. This time you're bringing the leg over onto the right side, looking towards your right arm, your left arm. Sliding that right arm back down onto the floor, knee back to the center. As you're bringing the knee over, you're sliding that right arm up, looking towards your left arm. And coming back up. Last one. Okay, so now the next one that we're going to do, and then we're going to go into something else. We're here, and we're gonna bring the arms over and then coming back up. So we're lying onto the floor, and with the arms like that, we're gonna go forward and then back. Forward as much as you can, okay? So lie down onto the floor, elbows out to the side so that they're parallel to the shoulders, and then from here, you're starting to bring your arms over as long as you can go, and then bringing them back up. Last few. And then very gently start hugging the knees towards the chest. Stay here for a breath or two, and now we're going to do the bridge, okay? So we're bringing the feet as close as we can into the front of the hips. Feet are hip-width apart, big toes are slightly tucked in. And now what we're going to do, we're going to tilt the pelvis under. And as we're tilting the pelvis under, we're trying to shorten this distance between the pelvis and the rib cage, so you're crunching the front, lifting the bum off the floor. As you're pushing the bum up, you're interlacing the fingers behind your back. Now you want to shuffle to the top of your shoulder, so you want to straighten the arms and come to the top of the shoulders. So this is when you're going to get the stretch onto the shoulders. Tuck your chin to the chest and push the bum up. Okay, so you're really trying to get onto the sides so that you're really stretching the arms behind your back, and you're feeling that stretch into the shoulders, looking down towards your belly, making sure that the knees are not coming out to the side, pressing onto the heels and to the big toes, and then very gently undo your arms. Press the hands down, and very gently on the exhale, you're bringing your knees back, your back down onto the floor. Hug the knees to the chest. Rotate the knees clockwise, so you're giving yourself a massage in one direction on your lower back. And now we're just going to repeat the bridge into the same position, because we still want to basically work on the shoulders. So bring your feet as close as you can towards your bum. Press your hands down onto the floor. Tilt your pelvis so that you're bringing the bum off the floor, crunching the abdominals, and then lift the bum up towards the ceiling. Once you've got enough space, start interlacing the fingers behind your back, shuffling to the top of your shoulders. Pressing down onto the arms as you're pushing the bum up towards the ceiling, chin to chest so the neck is nice and long, feeling that stretch onto the shoulders. And then very gently release the hands on the inhale. On the exhale, bring your back down onto the floor. Hug your knees to the chest. And start rocking back and forward until you're coming up into a seated position onto the mat. And then hug your left knee towards your chest. Bring your left leg over the right, making sure that the right leg is straight with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Left hand behind you, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine, and exhale, you're either hugging the left knee towards the chest, or you're bringing your right elbow on the outside of the left knee and looking towards your left shoulder. So on the inhale, you're lengthening the spine. On the exhale, you're turning towards your left. feeling the space in between the shoulder blades being stretched. Chin parallel to the floor. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. So we're going to stay here for another 6 breaths. On every inhale, you're lengthening the spine, imagining that somebody's pulling you up from the top of your head. And on the exhale, you're trying to twist towards your left. And then very gently, on the next inhale, you're coming back into the center. Keep the legs where they are, but now you're twisting towards your right, bringing your left arm over the left knee, turning slightly towards your right, with your right arm behind you. And now very gently come back to the center, hug the left knee towards the chest and release it. Keep your left leg straight, and now we're going to do it on the other side. So you're hugging the right knee towards the chest, bringing it over the left leg. Right hand behind you, left hand up towards the ceiling. On the next inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, either hug the knee towards the chest or left elbow on the outside of the right knee. And then twisting towards your right. On the inhale, you're lengthening the spine. On the exhale, you're twisting towards the right. Chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your right shoulder. Inhale into the count of 5. And exhale into the count of 5. And then one more breath here. And very gently, on the next inhale, come back to the center. Keep the legs where they are. You're bringing your left arm behind you and your right arm over the right knee. And just turn towards your left, giving yourself a little bit of a counter pose. So you're basically turning towards the opposite side. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Now you might want to get hold of a couple of pillows because we're gonna fold forward, okay? So you might want to get pillows in between your belly and your legs. So when you're folding forward, you can rest yourself there. You can also fold it over so you're sort of resting your chin there if you want to. Okay, so place your hands either side of your bum with the fingers pointing towards the toes. And then on the next inhale, start working on the core muscles. So you're bending the elbows and you're sending the elbows to the back part of, so towards the back. Bending them slightly so you can open up the chest. And then on the next inhale, really focus onto the core muscles as you're sitting up. If you need a block underneath your bum, just place a block or a pillow underneath your bum. Now clench your bum hole, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under. And then on the next inhale, this is when you want to use the pillow in between the legs and the torso. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, you're folding forward. But we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So this time we're sort of bringing the arms either so that you're sort of grabbing hold of the opposite elbow, or you're doing an inverted prayer behind your back. And then you can fold the pillow so that you're resting the pillow here, grabbing hold of the elbows behind your back. And then if you want to get more stretch onto the shoulders, just squeeze the shoulder blades together and pull the elbows away from the body. You can only stay here for a couple of breaths, and then you can rest them on behind your back. Try to still squeeze the shoulder blades together. Just breathe into the shoulders, allowing them to open up, and just feel the sort of tissues stretching slightly as you're doing this pose. Squeezing the shoulder blades together so you're isolating the front of the shoulder. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Get rid of the pillow. Come into the middle of the mat. Place your hands in front of the knees and roll back onto your back, hugging the knees to the chest. Chin to chest. You're keeping your right knee hugged and you're lengthening the left leg down onto the floor. Bring your right arm out to the side. Place your left hand on top of the right knee and bring your right leg over onto the left side. You can also put a pillow underneath the knee so that you can sort of really support the knee in this position. And we're trying to keep that right shoulder down onto the floor as we're twisting towards your left, looking towards that right hand. We're gonna stay here for at least a minute. So really start breathing into the area, lengthen the breath, inhale into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. We're gonna do 5 more breaths here, and then we're gonna go into the other side. So really breathe into the area, start scanning the body and see where you're holding tension as you're doing this pose. And just allow that area to sort of let go and open up. Okay, and now very gently start bringing that right knee back towards the center and swap the legs over. So left arm out, right hand on top of the left knee, bringing that leg over the right side of the body, keeping that left shoulder onto the floor. You can put a pillow underneath the knee. Looking towards your left hand, making sure that left shoulder is on the floor. Nice and long breaths. Just lengthen the breaths. Breathe into the pose and scan the body, trying to see if there's an area that holds the tension. And by just focusing there, you're just letting go of that tension, opening up that area. And now very gently start bringing the head back to the center, knee back to the center, holding both knees towards the chest, chin to chest. And now we're just gonna go into the last pose, which is the Shavasana, or the corpse pose. So you're bringing your legs along the mat, feet as wide as the mat, flopping the feet out to the sides, and then press onto the feet, lift your bum up and sort of roll your lower back onto the floor. So you're feeling that the whole of your lower back is in contact with the mat. And then, to be able to do that, you need to sort of bend the knees slightly, slide your bum down and then come back up. So you're really rolling onto your lower back. Roll the shoulders back, palms up towards the ceiling, chin to chest. You can use some pillows underneath your knees if you want to, a pillow underneath your head if you want to, or you can also bend the knees so that the feet are on the mat, as wide as the mat, and you're supporting the knees with each other. Okay, so we just start to relax different parts of the body. So we're starting with the right hand. Relax the right hand, relax the right wrist, the right forearms, the right elbow, the right upper arm, relaxing the right shoulder, coming across the top of the shoulders into the left shoulder, relaxing the left shoulder, the left upper arm, the left elbow, left forearm, left wrist, and left hand. Come back to the top of the shoulders, relax the back of the neck, relax the front of the neck. Coming up all the way to the scalp, across the whole area covered by your hair, relaxing the whole area covered by your hair, relaxing your forehead, your eye sockets, your temples, your nose, your upper lip, your mouth, your chin, your cheeks, relaxing your lower jaw, coming back to the front of the neck, into the chest, relaxing your chest and your breasts, coming down into your upper abdomen and into the lower abdomen, coming under and over your reproductive organs into the gluteal area, relaxing your bum, relaxing your lower back, relaxing the middle of the back, relaxing the space in between the shoulder blades, and relaxing the shoulder blades. And now just scan the body a little bit. Don't move anything. Just imagine that you're looking at yourself from above, and just check how your shoulders are resting onto the mat. Are they feeling comfortable? Is one feeling more tense than the other? And then just send the next couple of breaths into those areas to try to relax them. And now you're traveling towards the sides of the body, from the armpit all the way down into the hips, relaxing the sides of the body, relaxing your hips, relaxing the front of the thighs and the back of the thighs, relaxing your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles and your feet. Feeling as though your body is nice and relaxed. And now bring the awareness back into the whole of the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And then very gently bring one knee at a time towards the chest and start rocking back and forward until you're coming up into a cross-legged position onto the mat. Otherwise, you can roll yourself onto the right side, pushing yourself up with your left arm into a cross-legged position onto the mat. Bring your hands in front of your chest, close your eyes. Remind yourself of the intention you set out at the beginning of the class, and thank you for allowing yourself time for practicing today. Namaste. And I shall see you either next week